Activate.
It doesn't matter, dude.
All right.
Nothing matters.
Welcome to this Pink Cloud, everybody. I am DJ Kelly Reverb. Stutter
fart,
to it.
dude.
I like it. You have tuned into this Pink Cloud. We are a show that is about multiple pathways to recovery, mental health, and all that lies within. Be sure, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Sitting in with me, everybody give it up for Mr. Chad LeMans. Hey, brother.
Hey,
how are
Kelly.
you, man?
Hey, Kelly.
Hey,
Hey,
Chad.
Kelly. How you doing today?
It's my birthday
Hey,
today,
Kelly.
Chad.
It's Kelly's birthday. Everybody in the comments say, "Happy birthday, Kelly. You're starting to look real old."
You sound like Mr. Pooh.
Oh, no.
You sound like Mr.
Bill,
Pooh,
dude.
No, it sounds like Mr. Pooh Mr. Hanky from from South Park. Hi, Kyle. Anyway, so I am excited to have this young lady on. We have been friends, I guess, through music and all that
shut
stuff.
that door.
Yeah. Hey, will do, buddy. Will do.
Shut the door.
Hi, gee, you got shut the door. But so anyway, I know this young lady from, I guess, music. I think you actually were a fan of one of our songs, A Little Something Beautiful. But this is my good buddy, What is your handle, Gypsy Jenn, on Instagram? But we'll call her Jennifer H. or Jen H. Just not Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
I love Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. You shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't have told me that because I'm going to call you Jenny the whole episode now. But hey, thanks for coming on and filling in last minute. But I'm excited to hear your story because there's some in and out of the program, which I think is really valuable information. But welcome to this Pink Cloud.
Woo.
Thank you.
You get the hallelujah music.
She get the gong first and then the hallelujah.
There we go. So how are you today? You good?
I'm great. Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's hear a little bit of your backstory. Give us a little history on Jen H.
Oh man, there's so much. I just turned 45, so there's a lot of years in there.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I would say I first got, you didn't know who I was, but I would say I became a fan of you and Merritt because of Edge Club. I grew up in Denton.
Right. You're a Dallas girl, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Denton. And
Right.
When Edge Club came on, that was really my first exposure to electronic music.
Uh-huh.
And I was in high school and I loved it. So, we started going to raves and clubs with fake IDs. And, the beginning it was, I could go and have fun sober. But that didn't last too long. So,
Right. Did you start creeping in a little Boone's Farm?
Yeah, and there've been, growing up in the country, my parents would let us have beers and wine coolers and things like that.
Right.
And it didn't really get too crazy until high school, though.
Okay.
But, yeah. So
Well, how does that progress? So you start going out and then socially, and then where does it go from there?
yeah, I mean, in the beginning, being underage, alcohol was a little tougher to get, and it was actually easier to get our hands on other stuff.
I don't think it's an issue. Sorry, we're trying to figure out this board because we haven't done the interview on this Ecamm software yet. But it's so I think it'll be all right though. My bad.
Thank you for awkwardly interrupting.
I'm
Chad.
sorry. She stopped because she heard me whisper.
It's all good. Sorry.
We're talking about you.
What's talking about people?
Anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think in the earlier days, my experience with addiction definitely started with more of like the party drugs,
Okay. Your
ecstasy.
ecstasy, yeah.
Yeah,
Ecstasy
I
makes
remember
me a
that.
better
I
dancer.
vividly remember the first time I tried Coke, and I think that was it was kind of all over for me at that
Yeah.
point. It was good. So
It was the arrival moment.
absolutely. It was all those fears and anxiety went away.
It turns your bad feelings into good feelings.
It's a nightmare.
You don't want none of this. What's that from?
Dewey Cox.
Dewey Cox.
Yeah. Walk hard.
Right. Walk hard.
So yeah, a couple of years of that, it very quickly, very, very quickly became a full-on addiction. It was,
Right.
first started with like weekends, and then it's, going to school on whatever drugs we could get our hands on.
Right.
Yeah.
The residual from the night before.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so I'd say, that went on until I was about 19, and decided that I was done with that lifestyle, and it wasn't very healthy. And, you have friends kind of start to get in trouble, and I just didn't want that to happen. So I
Right.
stopped.
Okay.
And
So you just stopped on your own, just like, hey, I need to not drink and or drug. Were you still going out though? At that
no, I
time?
completely quit going out. And I will say, I did not stop drinking, just stopped the drugs.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
So I was able to stop doing that by just eliminating myself from going out.
Right. Okay. All right.
And down.
Well, fair enough, but that's kind of sad. But yeah,
It
it
was.
happens. Yeah, I
No,
know,
but
because it's like you like love this music and you love this singing, and you're like, no, I can't go do it.
Then you get
It was-
sober and you listen to it and you're like, this fucking music
This
sucks.
is horrible.
How did I ever enjoy this shit?
No, it was sad because I loved Dallas. It was I honestly, I feel really grateful to have grown up there and to have those experiences. My eyes growing up in a small town, there's so much that we didn't see. And I was just exposed to so much being in the Dallas scene, and I loved it. I loved it a lot, but I just couldn't do it sober, so had to remove
Right.
myself from that.
Okay. So, but the whole time you're still moderately drinking, or how does that shape up?
Yeah. So, like I said, there really wasn't a lot of alcohol during those years. It was mostly drugs. But then when I stopped the drugs, then I pretty much replaced it with alcohol.
Okay.
And
Good move. I condone that.
yeah.
I did that myself.
So it was. I ended up moving to Arizona in 2000. And a big part of my story is geographical relocations.
Okay. Yeah. So why did you move to Arizona then?
My mom
Hey,
had moved
hold on.
there when I
Hey,
was in high school.
hold on. Let me say this right. Hey, Jenny, why did you decide to move to Arizona?
Jenny, why did you leave us?
Sorry.
Why did you leave us for a place that with all the rocks that are red and it is hot?
I like to escape.
Okay.
I think I like to escape. I like
Was
the idea.
there something in specific that you were running from here that was going on? Were you drinking too much, or what was going on that made you want to move to Arizona?
Definitely drinking too much. I'd gotten a DUI in Dallas.
Okay.
And yeah, that was pretty scary. I had to spend a weekend at Lou Sterrett,
Woo!
And
Shout out Lou Sterrett.
Right.
that was Juneteenth weekend.
Okay.
And
It's a
an
great time to be in
experience
Dallas County Jail.
It was scary as hell. I mean, I
I'm
was just
sure.
like, this little
White
blonde thing from
blonde-haired white country girl.
On Juneteenth,
Yeah.
Lou Sterrett.
There we go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
So then you say, oh, okay, Arizona is going to be a good move. And then why did you pick Arizona?
My mom was living there. She had moved there a couple of years before.
Okay. Right. Now that makes sense.
And I visited and, saw palm trees for the first time and thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So my plan was to go out there and go to school at ASU and, just get my life together.
Uh-huh.
But I got out there and
Arizona ASU is a notorious party school.
Hell yeah.
That also, I'm like, oh, cool. I can just move the party over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So no, that was a plan. I did not end up enrolling in school right away. Tuition for out of state was pretty expensive. So I got a bartending gig in the meantime. And then ended up a year later finding out that I was pregnant with my oldest.
Okay.
And not exactly planned. So there was a, kink in those plans there.
Right.
So it was, let me see. Went through that whole thing. I don't know. It was kind of a mess. Like I said, it was not planned. Didn't have a great relationship with his
the
dad.
father. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And, I was kind of disappointed in myself. I'd gone out there to reinvent myself and, prove to my family that I was better than what I had done in high school. And then just ended up. So.
Well, now, how old were you when you got pregnant the first time?
I was 21.
Okay. So relatively a young mom.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So you have the child, and then did you actually go to end up going to ASU or?
I never ended up going to school. I had him and worked a full-time job and
were you still bartending?
Not much after I had him. It was more like 8 to 5 type gigs.
Okay.
I started working for Coors and Miller out there.
Nice. Okay.
And, on Fridays, they would let the employees have free cases of beer.
Hell yeah. That's my kind of job. Right.
I'd go out there and I'd grab the 30 packs and, so.
Do y'all remember those Coors commercials where they're like, in them twins?
Huh?
In them twins?
No, I don't remember
all the Coors commercials with, you remember that, right? The Coors commercials with the twins?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Well, she worked for the company.
Yeah, well.
All right. So you're getting a free 30 pack every weekend, dude. I love that. So bonus.
I loved that. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, being a single mom was hard. And
and that 30 pack made it a little easier.
It did, put the baby to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and then stay up drinking by myself until midnight, and then wake up the next day, start it all over again.
There you go. That sounds like the plan.
That's the silver bullet right there, brother.
That's right, dude. Were you Miller Lite or were you Silver Bullet?
I was a Coors Light girl back then.
Oh, okay, Coors Light. Okay.
So you're a big fan of aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just ignore Chad.
Coors Light is the only beer I've ever had that tastes just straight up like aluminum.
Right.
Yeah. When it's free though, you just take
it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the best kind of beer ever. So okay, so you're doing this, and then how long is that going on? Like, how long is the Beer Mom run?
So that lasted about 4 years.
Okay.
And 4 years before it really went downhill. I mean, honestly, I think that I think honestly, the way that I drank was it was a lot from the beginning. I don't
Right.
think I was ever like, it progressed into a big thing. It just was a big thing.
It started and remained a big thing. It was like all or nothing kind of thing.
Yes. I was a
Yeah.
blackout drinker, drank and drove a lot. Not proud to say I did a couple of times with the kid in the car. So,
Right.
you know, that's that was not my
Well, I mean,
proudest.
I find it like, I mean, for myself, I mean, I can't believe that I never got a DUI or anything like that. You know, I mean, knock on wood. I mean,
from my perspective and his wife's perspective, I can't believe he doesn't get those while he's driving sober.
yeah, they always like. Well, first off, they just suck at driving, so they don't understand how to. They don't understand how to aggressively drive. Anyway, but so your story. Trying to stay on subject here, Jen.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
you're. What's that?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking.
Oh no, yeah, we do that occasionally. But
about 4 years after I had him, I decided to relocate again. I went back to Dallas,
All right.
and it was about 6 months later that I ended up deciding to quit drinking the first time.
Okay. And then, so how old were you then? Like 25-ish?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
Yeah, almost
All right.
25, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that moving back home, I was always kind of searching for happiness and acceptance and all of those things. So I moved back home to be closer to family.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up I had my wisdom teeth pulled right after I moved back to Dallas.
Which is always fun.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But they give you some really nice pain pills to go with that.
Oh yeah.
And so I got pretty hooked onto hydrocodone when that happened.
Hell yeah.
That's funny. We were just talking about that the last episode, and I was talking about like how, because I had the septoplasty, which is the realignment of your septum, and they gave me hydrocodone, and I was like, man, hydrocodone makes me angry.
Yeah, he had to call me and ask me because I'm a resident expert in the field of opioid-induced anger. And I was like, yeah, dude, welcome. Yeah. Doesn't it feel good just to start snapping at people for saying hi?
I don't remember that. I just remember it feeling hella good.
Yeah.
Well, there's the whole not off aspect of it that, is part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I ended up losing my job at that point, and that was when a family member kind of stepped in and
are you trying to are you getting street hydrocodone, or is it just one time you did and then, or how long of a, did that become a part of the picture?
It wasn't for a very long time. I was able to convince the doctor to give me a couple of refills.
There we go.
I'd say it went on for a few weeks. But it was during that time that I lost a job because, even eating, what was it? I think it was like 12 of those a day. And then drinking with it. And, when you drink and you've had your wisdom teeth pulled, you get these things called dry sockets. And they're even more painful than, just the recovery itself. So
sure.
It was pretty bad.
Right. Gotcha. So then, what happens like after you lose your job, and then where does it go from there?
So my son's grandparents, his dad's parents, they live in Northern California. They own some sober living houses, and they're very involved in the recovery community.
Okay.
So I think for several years they were kind of just sitting back and watching and waiting for it to get bad enough.
Run its course, right?
Yeah. So I had flown my son out to California for a visit because he was too young to fly by himself, and I think she could just tell that I was at a pretty bad place, and she's driving me to the airport so that I can fly back to Texas. And she asked me, she said, we were just kind of talking about some of the things that had been happening recently. And she said, Jen, do you drink because these things happen, or do they happen as a result of your drinking?
Good question.
Yeah. So I had to ponder
what was the
that.
answer?
I had a few drinks on the plane flying back and thought a lot about it. I woke up the next morning.
As you were drinking. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to quit just yet. But no,
Right.
I thought about it a lot that night. And I woke up the next morning and I emptied out all of the alcohol in my apartment in Denton. And I called her and I asked for help. I said, I need to get a rehab.
Now, had you ever done the empty the alcohol out before routine?
No.
Right.
Never.
Because I did the flush the cocaine a few times before it actually stuck.
I think we did do the flush the cocaine a few times, but the alcohol, no, I never done that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so then you, that was like the first time that you said, hey, look, this has got to stop altogether, the drug use. And I mean, obviously you're not really using drugs actively, but alcohol for sure. So then you go out to do you go out to the sober living in California or what?
Well, first they sent me to a rehab. A 28-day, which ironically
was that here in Dallas or?
No, it was in Napa Valley.
Napa Valley. Ooh.
Yeah, it must be tough.
It was tough.
The bougie Napa Valley, right?
He got you fucking stomping grapes while you're in rehab.
It was really beautiful place. Definitely an ironic place to be in, but it was kind of cool because it was, we weren't in the city, we were in the outskirts, and there wasn't really anything to do there. So
except visit wineries.
This is true.
Right.
So no, I did the 28 days out there, and then ended up moving over to the area they are, which is in the East Bay of California. So like Walnut Creek area. And so we decided that my move there would be permanent. And just not having a lot of support in Texas. I didn't know anyone that was sober. Definitely no one in my family was sober. I think there was fear that if I went back that I wouldn't be able to, keep it going. So yeah, I was in California for 2 years, and I dove into the AA recovery groups, and which at the time it was actually pretty cool. There is a huge amount of young people in recovery in Northern California. So a lot of fun events like camping and karaoke nights and young people's meetings. So it was really easy to just throw myself into it and stay sober because I didn't know anyone who drank out there. So
yeah, that's kind of cool that it was a younger set, because sometimes you get the meetings with nothing but old timers. But yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, the young person stuff is really cool. They have conferences and stuff that you go to now, and that shit is wild, dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many people have such a wild time in sobriety. It's really cool.
Yeah, we did one of those, and it's pretty insane listening to like 400 people say the Serenity Prayer in a room.
Right.
It's pretty neat. But yeah, I'm in Florida now, so I know all about the meetings with mostly old people.
Sure. No, I hear you. Well, I mean, it depends on where you go in Dallas. Like some meetings are more like old timers, which are cool. Don't get me wrong. And then some of them are, much younger demographic, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, we're gonna throw to commercial. Our good friend Max the Axe, thispinklawyer.com.
There's a little website. It's just thispinklawyer.com.
So if you go to thispinklawyer.com,
go to that website.
It will take you to Lone Star Injury Attorneys. He practices in California and Texas.
In California and in Texas.
Will get you the maximum results for your personal injury.
And his name is Max the Axe.
Isn't it amazing how I can just talk straight through Chad? I mean, it's actually really a talent to just tune him out and just to be able to go straight forward with
it. Isn't it a really awesome talent? I can just talk through Chad.
Anyway, and then we've also got some new music out. Actually, the intro song for the show is now officially out. It's called Activate. And there is a Falcone remix, and then we also have some remixes out as well.
And shout out Falcone for
12 years sobriety,
12 years sobriety, making house music, man. You think you're so cool because it's your birthday, but you don't know shit.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. That first song, Activate, actually is streaming on all major platforms now.
Yes.
The other one actually is a remix that we did that is out for free download on SoundCloud. So if you go to soundcloud.com/Kelly Reverb, there's a whole list of songs that we remixed.
Some other remixes too, which are worth mentioning. So the first one I would like to mention is Bjork, because she is so strange and so beautiful. So we did a remix of a hyper ballad song by her, and then we also did some beepy bloopies, some from the Depeche Mode, because they are so amazing. And there might be some, I fucking love this, Madonna in the works one day.
Yeah, dude, no, I'm excited about the Madonna, but we'll keep that under wraps for right now.
It is no longer under wraps. The entire civilization of the whole united world can hear.
Anyway, but so those are streaming, free download, all that stuff. If you get a chance, please check that out. But back to Jen in Florida, who in your story, you had just arrived in Florida. What age were you at that time?
It was California, and I was.
Oh.
I was
no, but I thought you had gone to Florida. I thought we had made it to Florida.
No, I went to California to rehab.
Yeah, and we had. So California and rehab. I'm slow.
It's my birthday today.
I've been everywhere.
So California rehab, and then sober living, right, in California.
Yep, I did.
Okay.
I did rehab. Stayed at the ex-in-laws sober living house for I don't know, close to a year.
Okay.
And it was. I don't think it was really planned for me to stay in sober living for a year, but the cost of living there was so high.
Oh, yeah. It's
kind of my
ridiculous.
Ridiculous
for sure.
Were you using insurance to pay for your sober living out there?
No. Working full time, paying for it myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you're also probably getting a little bit of a family discount, right?
Oh, I think a tiny bit, not much.
Right. Okay.
You know, it's the ex-in-laws. I wasn't their daughter, so
Yeah, that's right.
kind of, you know, was part of.
Well, but you did have their grandson.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I was out there for 2 years, and but it was just really hard to support myself out there. So I decided to move back to Texas.
Okay.
And I think, you know, I'd gone through several sponsors out there. One of them went out, and I had another one relocate. And so, you know, I was really involved in the program, going to meetings, and all of my friends were sober, but I wasn't really like working the steps, like really doing recovery.
Right. So you were just kind of showing up because it was the thing to do.
Yeah. And
gotcha.
Yeah. So after a while, I think I'd convinced myself that, you know, I was just depressed, and that I could abuse anything, whether it be alcohol or drugs or shopping or sex or any of those things. And I convinced myself I just needed to find a balance in my life. And so it kind of got me out of the rooms, and I moved back to Texas again to be near family, and relapsed almost immediately.
Okay. Well, how long was the window of sobriety?
It was 2 years.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, I think it's a good thing to point out is even if you do go out and then you do relapse, you know, I mean, that's part of the process. I think it's, you know, it's like time they can't take away from you. So like that time, you know, at least it gives you a chance to know what it is like to function in sobriety, you know?
Absolutely. And for me, what I learned being in the meetings during that time and in recovery, you know, they say a lot in meetings that, you know, if you haven't had your last drink yet, you know where we are, you know where to come back to when you're ready. And that's what I kept hearing. You know, I thought that I could just try to manage it, and I knew where to go whenever I was ready. Eventually.
Right. So you tried to do the old dial it back. I've got this still. I can control this.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I moved back to Texas. And about 6 months later, I met my husband, and you met him last year, Russ.
Yeah. Shout out Russ.
Oh wait, yeah.
Right. Well, y'all were cool. You actually came out to a gig I played in Tampa, and you actually came out to a gig that actually was at a strip club. So there's this sign of this picture of her and I, and it was hilarious because I didn't notice at the time. But right behind us, it says all nudes.
Hell yeah!
And I was like, oh well, that's classy.
I can't believe anybody would pay to see you nude, dude.
Right.
Other than me.
That's right.
I pay to see Kelly nude all the time. That's how we write our best stuff.
Yeah, and if you have to use the restroom while you're hanging out in the club part, you actually have to go into the strip club to do that. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that was definitely fun.
I'd love to stay for your set, Kelly, but I got to use the shitter.
That's right. So
I met Russ in 2008, and just really, you know, I just tried. Let's see, I don't know. I met him in 2008, so we've been together for 15, almost 16 years now.
Hell yeah.
And you know, it was fine for a while. You know, we did the thing. We got married. We had a baby after that. We bought a house in Denton and did all the normal stuff. And
is he a Denton guy as well?
He is. We were born at the
Okay.
same hospital, 20 days
Oh,
apart
wow.
at the hospital.
Oh,
Denton.
wow. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually kind of funny. We met on Match.com,
Oh, okay.
but when we had our first date, we're sitting there talking, and it turns out, we have all these mutual friends. And then we end up finding out that our grandparents were good friends because they were all teachers.
And then we found out we were related. I'm just kidding. And then we found out we were second cousins, and got a little weird, but no, I'm just kidding.
Thank goodness that's not a part of my story.
Yeah, right. So then, yeah, so you and Russ, and then, like, when did y'all decide to move to Florida, or how did that go?
Kelly's so obsessed with this Florida thing. He's not going to let it go
I
until
know,
he
I'm
finds
just
out
like-
when it happens.
Yeah, tell me when Florida happened. Tell me when Florida happened. Hi, Jenny. Tell me when Florida happened.
So in 2015, we decided on a huge career change.
Okay.
I had been in corporate. He had been in kind of corporate. And we ended up deciding to become insurance adjusters.
Okay.
And
Had you done anything like that in past experience, or no?
No, I kind of did something similar. I at one point tried to become a real estate appraiser.
Okay.
And one is identifying damage of homes, and the other is finding the value of homes. But the
Right.
process of how you go about it and the software is actually owned by the same company. It ended up
Gotcha.
being fairly similar, and I knew a lot about the construction of homes. So, yeah, so we researched it for a couple of years and decided to take the plunge to become catastrophe insurance adjusters. So
Florida's perfect for that.
Yeah, right.
it is. And but we we decided to sell our house in Texas. We
Okay.
bought a fifth wheel, and we lived in the fifth wheel, and we traveled across the country doing catastrophe events for about 5 years before we finally came to Florida.
Okay, so the fifth wheel, like, what is that, like a Winnebago, or what do we got?
That's one that you tow behind a car.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So behind the truck. Yep. You've
Okay.
I have a hitch in my truck, and
Hell yeah.
I would pull the fifth wheel. He usually had to be at the deployments much faster, so he would drive ahead in the car. And then my son, he was 5 when we started doing this, so I homeschooled him, and
Oh, wow.
I would pull the fifth wheel and just meet him wherever we were going.
That's kind of cool. Like, I mean, a little gypsy-ish. I guess that's where the name came from.
That's where the name came from. Yeah.
I was like, let's do the math.
No, it was a lot of fun. We got to see, a lot of the country that you would never think to go on vacation to. Midwest, Denver, Kansas, Missouri, all those places. So,
Right.
I missed them.
So yeah. So I mean, so the Gypsy Jenn is happening. Like, sorry, Chad. Chad is having issues over here. Sorry about that. God. So okay, so y'all are traveling for 5 years, and then how does that go down? Like, so you're traveling around with the kid, homeschooling, and then where y'all going from? Like, what is there a specific geographic area that you're sticking to?
No, wherever they needed us. We worked
Okay.
a lot of hailstorms around the Midwest.
Well, I
We
figured
worked
that would bring you back to Texas a lot.
We were in Montana working a hailstorm when Hurricane Harvey hit. So we had to drive all the way to South Texas from Montana. Oh, that was a long drive.
That sounds like a fun drive.
Yeah.
Nice.
We spent a lot of time in Oklahoma City and Missouri. And we worked fires in Paradise, California when Paradise burned.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that was probably the toughest event that we worked, for sure.
Well, I bet, because, like, I mean, it's like a complete loss for these people.
yeah, it's hard to talk about even
Isn't
now.
that the
just
name of like
thinking.
a movie? Paradise Burning?
They did
Or no,
make
it's
a movie.
Paradise
They have
Lost.
a Netflix. Yeah, they have a Netflix on it.
Mm.
Cool. It's like, huh? What do you know about that?
Not do what?
Is that right?
Huh. You learn something new every day.
Now do what?
So we were in North Denver when the lockdown happened during COVID.
Oh, okay.
And we were out of work during that time. And I don't know, probably for about 6 months, I picked up a manager position at an RV park in North Denver to kind of tide us over while we were
Okay.
waiting on teams. And
Right.
and then an old boss that we had called us and said, "Hey, we've got this account in Florida. You'll get to stay in one spot. No more traveling. You're just working regular daily claims.
Little
So come out here.
stability.
I've got work." Yeah. So we did. We've been here for about 4 years now.
Okay, cool. And then so like, but then were you sober this whole time while you were working, or what was the story with that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so
No,
Gypsy Jenn is enjoying the gypsy lifestyle.
I was. And,
Yeah.
he had the job of climbing the roofs. I had the job of scheduling
Staying on
his
the ground.
appointments.
Yeah, staying on the ground. Did you ever graduate from beer to the almighty vodka?
Absolutely.
Congratulations. Yeah, you figure
Especially
that out.
when they came out with flavored LaCroix. When they came out with
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I
Oh,
actually
yeah.
was able to, my non-alcoholic husband, I kind of got him hooked on coconut LaCroix and vodka for a little while.
Ah, right. Yeah. Well, no, because I mean that's the thing you actually eventually find out after you drink a while. Well, either you start with it or whatever. But if you start off with beer, then you will actually probably chances are migrate to vodka at some time because you're like, oh, cool,
It works way better.
Yeah, this is much more effective.
I can lose weight while I'm drinking this.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, the year before I quit drinking, even White Claws coming out, those were.
Oh yeah,
5%,
they've always got.
so-
Yeah, they've always got some fun thing to kind of hook you back in. Like, yeah, that sounds fun.
They're in like a marketing meeting, like, what do you think we can put out next that'll hook the old people back in?
Right. We've lost a few this time.
We've lost a few this time. Yeah. Sales are down. What can we do to get the AA people back?
Right. So you're out, the whole time you're actively using, but then you're in Florida. At least you have like one spot and you're not traveling around. So
Yeah.
So then how does that go until I guess, it gets unmanageable again?
I think part of what happened for me was so my sobriety date is March 13th of 23.
Okay.
My birthday is April 5th. So I'm inching toward my 44th birthday.
Okay.
Feeling like shit. Just
right.
depressed, lots of self-pity, self-loathing, laziness, all of the, I don't know, just I wasn't very productive or happy.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well, that's one thing that kind of goes hand in hand with the whole alcoholism or drinking is the productivity has a tendency to suffer a little bit.
absolutely. And there was always some guilt behind that because my boss is my husband and I don't want our business to fail.
Sure.
He's somewhat of an enabler, I guess.
Okay.
I don't even want to say enabler. I don't think he even really thinks
well,
that much
I mean,
into
he's a supportive husband and he,
Yes.
probably has faith in you and knows that, you're a good person at heart.
Yes.
So,
yeah, he definitely
he wants
never,
the best for you, so to speak.
exactly.
He has high hopes. Yeah.
He never really had to do that intervention talk with me But he
Right.
also has no experience with recovery, and he hasn't really had to deal with any of that. So I'm not sure that he'd really know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I will go back in time and say when I did meet him, there
Yeah.
was a little bit of uh, what's the word? I, I'll say one of the things that I liked about him was, one, he wasn't an addict in any way,
Okay.
shape, or form.
Right.
And two, he's kind of the quiet, more submissive type. So I knew that he would never be the one.
So you would have a yes man.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So I do think that was somewhat calculative on my part.
Okay.
But yeah, he never really gave me that talk. But I think that as we get older, my mom's a big drinker, and she's in her mid 60s now, and I think that my fear was being like her,
Right.
and I wanted that to change. And I've had many experiences being drunk where I've embarrassed myself and acted in ways
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never embarrassed myself. Well, so, and then what did the DUI count stop at 1?
It did, surprisingly.
It did. Okay. Well, that's
that's another bonus to having a husband that doesn't drink very much. He was always
you got the designated driver built in. Yeah, of course. Dude. They had
driving Miss Kelly.
Yeah, there was a kind of a running joke when my alcohol intake was getting out of hand. Let's say there used to be something called driving Miss Reverb. That's what they would call it. So everybody would I'm like, hey, you want to go out? I go, okay, cool. Come pick me up. It was kind of before, it was in the infancy of Uber, but it was definitely, there was a time where that was happening, So I know that, but what sucked actually about that was being a prisoner and just the lack of freedom and not being able to function without alcohol was horrible, man. I mean, it was literally a little prison that I had, built myself from my home to about 3 different liquor stores, and then I could venture outside that zone if I had enough liquid courage in me, which at this point was a lot, So I get it. So what, what advice, I always kind of like to do this, and what advice would you give somebody? And then also how has your, life in general, productivity, relationships, all that improved, since you have quit and you're actually working the steps actively this time, I think more so than you have in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I found an awesome Zoom meeting through a Peloton group. I got a Peloton last year. So the first 9 months that I was sober, I didn't really want to go the AA route this time. And
Sure.
but I had a therapist who was a specialist with addiction. And so she was helping me in the beginning, and then ended up buying a Peloton and joining all these Peloton groups, and came across a Peloton sober group.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of cool that you found that. I mean, there's actually a sober group that's Peloton. So that is kind of cool.
Yeah. It was really neat. And
is the instructor in Peloton? Are they yelling steps at you? Step work?
No. And the most common question we get is it a requirement to be on the Peloton bike during meetings? No, not at all.
Oh, right. Okay.
But no, yeah, I started going to the meetings after about 9 months of sobriety, and got a sponsor. And this time I was determined to try to do it the right way this time. I don't want to go back to that life again. So, yeah, it's been great. I got a sponsor. I'm working steps. I'm currently procrastinating on the completion of my fourth step.
Okay, which a lot of people, do. So that's pretty commonplace. But then that's when you need the hard ass sponsor to get come on.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm not going as quick as I'd like, but that's okay. There's a lot to talk about
there's a lot to unpack.
But it's been really great. I've got some women in the group. We've got our daily group chats through text going on, and we do a nightly 10th step every day.
Yep.
And I've got, and honestly, because of the traveling and the RV life, I didn't have really any friends during that time. And just in the last 4 months, I've met some really great people. We're kind of all over the country, but several of us have been able to meet in person. So it's been awesome.
Right. And then are you going to an in-person meeting, I'm assuming, as well? Or no?
I occasionally go to in-person meetings. We've got our Peloton meetings. There's 7 a week. So between those and our work schedule, I don't get to as many in person, but I do. Okay. There's one here that I go to if I'm able to.
I gotcha. Cool. Well, so have you, other than, winding up, having that as a lifestyle for the rest of your life, what would you say that you're enjoying with your freedom from alcohol now?
I'm just enjoying things in general. Nothing was fun toward the end. We go to a lot of concerts, and I've got my Liquid Death in one hand, my Red Bull in the other hand, and and it's amazing because the concerts we were going to before, I'm lucky if I remember them, for one. And
I used to black out at concerts. That was a good spot to black out to. To black out at was at concerts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually been one of the things that I really enjoy doing.
Cool.
Listening to live music sober it's really a great experience. You have to have someone with you though that is supportive of your sobriety, because sometimes people struggle with events like that in sobriety. Oh yeah. So,
just being around in clubs and in that environment, can be challenging. If you're in recovery, but I look at it as, they're not going to stop manufacturing alcohol on my behalf. So get over it, man. Get over it. And the more I do, the more comfortable I get. And if I ever want to drink again, it'll be there for you. It'll be there for me. So, it's not like it's going away.
Yeah, I don't know. It's when I go to events like that, it isn't hard to point out the people or to notice the people who've had a little too much to drink.
Oh yeah. I love to do that now. That's one of the joys.
It kind of does. Yeah.
You're like, I used to be that person.
It's not me anymore. That's great.
Poor bastard. It's not me anymore. Look at that jackass. That used to be me.
Yeah, that security guard over there is about to beat the shit out of you, dude. Yeah.
Oh, geez, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you last minute filling in, but it's funny how we were talking about this just on Messenger on IG, and then all of a sudden, hey, by the way, you want to fill in? And she's like, yeah, F it.
Well, he told me who it was, and I was like, isn't that the woman that was like posting that something beautiful like 1,000 times over whenever it first came out? And he was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, yeah, dude, she really liked that song.
I do. I love that song. It's great.
We should have played that for the commercial. Yeah, but we appreciate the support for sure.
You're so welcome.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's a great song. Love following you guys.
Oh, sweet. Well, I appreciate you coming on, like I said, and tell Russ that we said hi. And
hi, Russ.
And we'll definitely have to hook up.
Hi, Russ.
We'll definitely have to hook up next time we are in, or I'm in Tampa. Or would you ever still come to Dallas?
I could maybe be talked into it.
Hell yeah, right. Well, no, I just didn't know if you had family here where you came on a regular basis or whatever.
Yeah, gotcha. we do occasionally. Work kind of makes that challenging sometimes, but yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I think, like I said, I'll be in Tampa soon, so I will let you know when I'm headed that way. But anybody you would like to shout out at this point?
Oh my gosh. Definitely have to shout out my home group, the Peloton Sober Riders.
Peloton Sober Riders. I like it.
Yeah. My sponsor, Amy, and I've got some great friends in there. Yeah. All the amazing women in that group.
And of course, your patient husband.
Absolutely.
Named.
Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Hi, Russ.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And I'll hit you up when this is going to air. And tell Russ I said hello.
Hey, tell Russ I said hello. Hi, Russ.
And be sure and reach out to me sometime, Jenny.
I will. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Hey, next week we've got my friend from California, who is actually a producer. California, and he is actually, or they are a producer named Ember. But I'm excited to have them on. And then also, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. We're on all major platforms, so we're easy to find, right, Jeff?
I'm so easy to find.
Easy to find.
I'm so easy to find. You find me best about anywhere.
Anyway, but thanks for watching. And then remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Just kidding.